Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from sharEvery. Hearty welcome, Advanced Meetings Professional 595. I feel very happy to invite four panel members for this first meeting. Dr. Andrea Anderson from USA, Coach Sandra Almeida from India, Coach Sandra Walks from Canada, and Coach Sri Rupa Wavge from Mauritius. It's really honor to listen and invite four panel guests from four different countries for this meeting 595. We usually used to conduct advanced meeting for 60 minutes. From today onwards, advanced meetings are going to be for 70 minutes. First 5 minutes, host introduction and topic announcements, and 40 minutes panel discussion among four invited guests, and 20 minutes would be open forum for Q&A, question answers, and anyone from audience side can join. And finally, last 5 minutes, final remarks by the host. And thank you so much for your tireless support, all the followers and sharEvery community, as well as the guests. And this is a time to invite the four panel guests to discuss and share their experiences and expertise on the concept, the role of non-profit organizations from bringing social impact throughout the world. Please join your hands to welcome four panel guests. I'm going to give the floor to the four panel guests. Already we have given the order. First, what? And what is the non-profit organization? And by Coach Sandra Almeida from India. And second, why? And who? By Dr. Andrea Anderson from the US. And third, where we can do this non-profit service, by Sri Rupa Wavge from Mauritius. And the last but not the least, how we can do this service through non-profit organizations, by Coach Sandra Walks from Canada. Thank you so much. Your time starts now for Coach Sandra Almeida.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whichever part of the world you are. I'm Miss Sandra Almeida. I'll be talking on what side of non-profit organization. So I would start with the quote, "We celebrate not profit, but purpose." And that's a non-profit organization, according to me. Dr. Peter Willets, who is an NGO expert from City University, London, he says, NGO is a non-profit organization or a group that operates independently of government, and it works on social and humanitarian issues. So when we talk about NGO, we can say in a world that often measures success by numbers and profit margins, I stand before you today to celebrate a different kind of success, rooted in service, in compassion, and in purpose. Today, we celebrate the transformation power of non-profit organization. The soul of non-profit organization is the purpose over profit. And NPOs, that is non-profit organizations, they are the heartbeat of our society. They exist not to generate profit, but to generate progress and to uplift the community, to give voice to voiceless, and to build bridges where people are failing. So we have to bridge the gap. And here I can say they represent a higher calling. They are mission driven, people powered, and purpose aligned. MD, PP, and PE. Mission driven, people powered, and purpose aligned. So that's according to me is a purpose of NGO. So a vibrant ecosystem of impact is there. Let's explore the diversity of non-profit organizations or non-profit service. So my dear friends, they can act in the way of charity. What we say, like when we give charity in the form of donations, money, they can be in that form addressing urgent human needs from hunger to healthcare. So foundations provide strategic funding, or certain social organizations are there. They help other people by giving food, by giving free education, free medicines. So they can be in the form of foundations too. First is charity, second foundation, third advocacy group that raise the voice when systems say stay silent. There are various government organizations. Certain times it fails to help such people where NGOs stand in the form of advocacy group, advocating such groups at the lower level which other people have ignored. And community based organizations are there which fosters grassroots resilience. And then there are NGOs that extends hands across the borders to solve global cases. So these are the various forms they may take, and they are innovative born from compassion, the inner feeling, the inner kindness, because of which people are living for a higher purpose. So NGOs come into the world when people are not working for themselves, but they extend their hand to somebody. Our late Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir has told that give your hand to somebody and become handsome. People love to be beautiful, love to be handsome, but give your hand to somebody to uplift them and become handsome. So, with this note, I would say when we talk about NGO, I would take an best example of sharEvery. I would love to explain in the form of sharEvery Global Foundation. Let me now share the heartbeat of my work, sharEvery Global Foundation, a living example of how non-profit organization can shift narratives through purposeful actions. So we have taken so many students under our wings. Right now, we are running a Sikh organization, Sikh charity, wherein we had taken 60 students from Andhra Pradesh and we are teaching them English free of cost. So that is one work of sharEvery. Second, as an example, I would say what is non-profit organization. What I have seen through my work in sharEvery. The second work is we offer free English classroom or classes, ensuring that language is no longer becomes a barrier to the dreams of person. We give them hope. Every Sunday we have advanced sessions wherein experts from more than 70 countries they become a part of sharEvery. They share their views. And today is the first day we had changed the mode of this Sunday advanced session, wherein on a particular international topic, we are we have divided the work into four: what, where, whom, why, and we are trying to find out and solve the cases or the problems of society, or bring out the knowledge of what is prevailing all over the world. In this way, we are spreading out knowledge. So, after that, first of all, we are trying to bring confidence in people. And second, till the topics like climate change, we are handling. I remember many of the topics handled by uh, Nilu ma'am, like on water crisis or on sleep. Uh, Gautam Pal sir has took certain sessions. So these types of sessions are handled and various problems are being solved or discussed in this particular Sunday meetings. Then we have run free formal sessions on Tuesdays, wherein we had given a hope to those who could not come out within 15 members of 20 members to speak out. We have given them a platform where they can share their views and they can learn from another people and they can stand still with confidence. So this is the small group wherein we help people to learn how to speak English. And then proudly, we have dedicated our women's committee that steers our work from compassion, leadership, and strength. Altogether, we are not just teaching English, but we are teaching confidence, we are teaching voice, and we are teaching the future. With this, I would say the advocacy for non-profit organization I would advocate, I would recommend you all to join and to bring more people to such organization. One of them is our own organization, sharEvery Global Foundation. I would advocate on following grounds. The first thing is they bridge educational inequality by making knowledge accessible to everyone all over the world. Whosoever be the member of this particular foundation or will not be the member, but those who attend the classes, they get free knowledge. So knowledge is accessible. Second, they connect communities on a global level. Third, they promote gender inclusivity. Recently, we had formed women's group and they are empowering women. They equip individuals with life-changing skills that they are providing with short-term reliefs. There are other organizations who provide medicines, who provide not only education, healthcare facilities, or those who are hungry, they provide food. So they give skills, they make them stand on their own feet by giving them knowledge of skills. Then they build nurturing learning environment. Digital transformation is also there nowadays. We are meeting here virtually. We are teaching students virtually. So any person from across the world can come and help others. They champion justice, dignity, human rights. They inspire civic participation and ethical leadership, where we not only earn for ourselves, but we teach and give service to the society. So instead of joining our hands together, we uplift the people by giving them a hand. So they develop local solutions with a global resilience or global relevance, I would say. And last, I would say, by this work, they are not only impacting on the community, but across the world, they are bringing a change. So I would say, in the conclusion, be the spark, be the share and light. Let me close with this thought. We, the world, when the world count the numbers, we count stories. When the others are building walls, we are building classrooms. And when many see problems, we see possibilities to help the people. So, this is the spirit of non-profit work. And this is the way the share of every global foundation is working. The future of this world is non-profit global organization. Please join our community and please share whatsoever you have to the society. Thank you and have a great time. Over to you, coach.
Yes, yes. What a wonderful start. What a wonderful start. Really, we are not praising, but while I have been listening your words, I'm really, really, and it's almost, I'm feeling like tearing my eyes. The reason is when I started this small foundation with five people, we were very, very small, like a small particle. But now we are established into 75 plus countries with highly knowledgeable speakers like you four. Thank you, ma'am. You have given a wonderful example and you have given a beautiful definition what is a non-profit organization, that too through sharEvery Global Foundation. We are really very, very proud of you. Now, this is time to hand over the floor to our another panel guest, Dr. Andrea Anderson, to have a discussion on nonprofit organization, why and who, the impact and purpose of nonprofit. Thank you so much, and over to Dr. Andrea Anderson.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Professor Sandra, for leading us into laying the foundation. And what did she say? She says, I was taking notes, people powered plus mission aligned. Wonderful. People powered plus mission aligned, the role of nonprofit organization for social impact. I ask for the why, but I also ask for who, because if you don't have the who, everything else falls down. So we're going to talk about who, and the who, besides you, is having servant leadership. Servant leaders, that is the crux. That also is the foundation. We can have everything that we want. We can have the organization. We can have the building. We can even have some of the finances, but we have to have who? Who's going to lead this? What does a servant leader do? He meets people where they are. That is so crucial, to meet people where they are. The theory, where you say, Andrea, where do you get the theory from? It's from an ancient Chinese teaching. To rule truly is to serve. To rule truly is to serve. And how do we do that? We do that on the basis of our values and ideas. So I'm going to break things up into like 3 concepts. Number 1, what is servant leadership? A servant leader is one who leads by serving others. Not that complicated, my friends, not that complicated. A servant leader is one who leads by serving others. A servant leader gets things done by, think again, serving others. The servant leader serves others by empowering them to use their talents. And you know what? That's what we do at sharEvery Global Foundation. Our CEO, Coach Rambabu, is allowing us to empower others because he empowers us to help empower others. So that's an excellent example of that, to accomplish the organization's goals. Next, a servant leadership is characterized by a belief that leadership is what? Its development is ongoing. It's a lifelong learning process. And again, I have to deflect to Professor Sandra. She always says that I'm a lifelong learner. I'm a lifelong learner. And that's exactly what a servant leader does. It's a lifelong learning process. Second, what does a servant leader do? They devote themselves, again, to serving the needs of others. They focus on meeting the needs of others. My favorite saying is, am I my brother's keeper? Yes, 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 yes. Develop others to what? To bring out the best in them. Develop others. We are in the habit of, we need to bring out the best in people. We coach others and encourage their self-expression. We're totally different. Our personalities, even this morning, all 4 of us are totally, totally different. I'm the most introverted person in the world, I know, until I get a camera in my face and I all of a sudden become an extrovert. But we're all totally different. That's okay, because in our difference, we have commonality, we have community. Next, we facilitate personal growth in all who work and serve and volunteer in the nonprofit organization. And we listen and build the sense of community. Next, we are continually helping to develop other people. You say, well, Andrea, how do I know that I'm a servant leadership? You know what? There are 12 principles of servant leadership. So we get this. Number 1, listen. Listen. We have to listen. We have to listen to what the nonprofits are saying to us and how we can facilitate with them. Number two, and to me, this should be number one, but they have it listed as number two, empathy. I have to be very, very careful what I say with this. A servant leader strives to understand and empathize with others. In the natural, this person, I will not mention this individual's name, is known as the wealthiest person in not America, in the world. And you kind of guess who it is. He said the fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy. You know what, my friends? That makes him the poorest person you and I will ever meet. Because when you don't have empathy for one another, if we don't have empathy for each other, then are we our brother's keeper? Absolutely not. So that delegates him down from being the wealthiest person in the world to being a very poor specimen of even a human being, because we have to have empathy for one another. You have to accept and expect people and pull out their greatest strengths. And I don't even like to use the word weaknesses, because I don't believe anyone has weaknesses. They have challenges. And the role of a nonprofit as a servant leader is to help them with their challenges, help them to rise above their challenges. So we don't want to be the richest person in the world. Of course, again, he's the weakest person in the world. When the poorest person in the world, when he says a weakness, empathy rather, is a fundamental weakness. No, it's a fundamental strength. It's a fundamental strength in the eyes of God, and it's a fundamental strength in the eyes of anyone who's a servant leader, in the eyes of anyone who classifies himself as a human being. 3, healing. What do servant leaders do? They heal people. They see a need and they heal, they feel it and they heal it. That's where empathy comes in. So they heal people. Hurt people. Well, we want to help you. We want to help heal you. Why? Simply because we need you. The 7 pillars of servant leadership. Number 1, you have to be a person of character. Simple as that. Not be a character, be a person of character. 2, put people first. And goes back to the proverbial question, am I my brother's keeper? Put people first. 3, be a skilled communicator. Know how to communicate with people. 4, compassion. Have a passion. I always say, I believe in having a passion for God, then also having passion for people, compassion for my fellow man. Next, have foresight. Look beyond, say, okay, that's what a visionary does. A servant leader has visionary. You're here, you're point A, but I can see you at point B. And you know what? I'm going to help you get to point B. So you have foresight. Be a systems thinker. Say, Andrea, huh? What do you mean by that? A systems thinker is someone that has strategy. I believe Professor Sandra mentioned strategy. She has thinks and acts strategically, and you manage change effectively. How many of you know we're trying to manage change in the 21st century? Number 7, lead with what kind of authority? Moral authority. And again, that goes back to having empathy for our fellow man. So we have to be worthy of respect. We inspire confidence. We establish quality standards for performance. We also accept and delegate responsibility. Our CEO of sharEvery Global Foundation, he's always delegating responsibility. Share power and control. We're all in this together, my friend. And then we also have to create a culture of what? Accountability. Be accountable. Encourage you. That is the who in working with a nonprofit to become a servant leader the best that you can. Number 1 was listening. Number 2, empathy. I really love that word. 3, healing. 4, being aware. Persuasiveness, being persuasive. Having concept, it's a hard word to say, conceptualization. In other words, having ideas, constantly having ideas. 7, having foresight. 8, stewardship. 9, growth. 10, building a community. 11, strengthening your calling. You know what? What's number 10? Having joy about the whole thing. Even if you are an introvert like me, just be having joy. Joy, having joy. Thank you, person.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And finally, we got to know the definition of non-profit organization and who can do as the servant leader. So thank you so much for bringing such a phenomenal information for making or bringing a greater impact through the service leaders through the non-profit organizations. Thank you so much, Dr. Andrea Anderson, for your great message. And the greatest word and which we never forget, that is empathy. Many people, they feel like a similar, like sympathy and empathy, there is a slight change, and one is just voice, another one is just action. You should show your everything through actions, not just by wording. Thank you so much. We learned many things from you. Now this is time to invite our a third panel guest from Mauritius. She's none other than Coach Sri Rupa, and she's going to share with us where we can do this non-profit service. We know what is non-profit service, and we know who can do, and she is going to share her experiences and expertise with us. Please join your hands to welcome Coach Sri Rupa Wavge from Mauritius. Thank you, ma'am, and over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, a very good morning, good afternoon, and evening to all of you. It is both a privilege and I should say it's a responsibility to speak before you today to a topic that sits in the intersection of the purpose and progress, the evolving role of non-profit organization using social media to drive social impact. We all know we live in a digital age. Our world is connected by screens, driven by trends, and influenced by the scroll of thumb. But while some may use social media just as a platform, but someone doing the entertainment, but the NGO, non-profit organization, have transferred into something far more powerful. A tool for transformation, a platform for justice, and a voice for the voiceless. Let's begin with the awareness. Awareness is the very first step towards change. The social media makes the step more faster and more widespread than ever before. As you can see, the sharEvery, how they are doing 595 sessions today. So you can imagine how they are evolving. In just seconds, a post about a child's need for a heart surgery in a rural village can reach people across the globe. Stories about climate change, mental health, domestic violence, and many more are no longer hidden in reports. They are now front and in the center for everyone's feed. The NGOs who are the non-profits are using storytelling through photos, videos, graphics to simplify complex issues and make them more relatable to us. What about the awareness? Do you think the awareness is all enough? Absolutely not. Social media has become a battlefield for advocacy. Non-profits are leading digital campaigns as like our sharEvery, mobilizing thousands, sometimes millions with hashtags, petitions, viral videos, and so on and so forth. We have seen now how hashtags like sharEvery, us have grown into a global movement somewhere. See, as we have four different panelists from four different countries. Isn't it amazing to have them as a panelist? Behind many of them are passionate about the organization, which our estimated panelist, Sandra ma'am, already have mentioned about it, that understand the power of visibility and the collective voice. Social media gives them a metaphor to challenge yourself as well in the process of learning. And there's the engagement about who? The real human engagement. Unlike the traditional media, social media is not a one-way street. Non-profits can now listen to your audience as like you guys are listening to us, respond in real time and build up genuine relation as like all of us are having. A simple Instagram story saying, how can we help you more? can spark hundreds of responses. Live question and answer sessions, polls, comments, threads become platforms of learning, accountability, and trust building. Now, let's talk about fundraising, a lifeline for most non-profits. Going to from door to door driven, sometimes it's quite tiring, isn't it? Today, a well-timed campaign. That's why here we use the social media. Nowadays, people are much more in TikTok also, can raise the video to thousands overnight. Crowdfunding platforms, as I mentioned, Facebook, other social media, allow people to donate from any around the world. People are no longer just want to give, but they want to feel connected to what they are going to give for. And the social media making it possible, as like we are all connected via this Zoom meeting, but sitting in the different corner of the world through the platform of sharEvery. The most important area is the transparency and the impact reporting. Supporters wants to know, as like us, that how NGO are being run, how the sharEvery is running their 595 meeting, how it is possible. Well, obviously there are some hidden expenditures there who is being helped. Non-profits know how to use social media on a regular for their regular updates. Behind the scene works, as like our coach Rambabu is doing since the beginning, and the testimonials from the beneficiary. These stories of impact not only build credibility, but they also inspire more people to get involved. That's why we are joined together to inspire others to make this platform more bigger. Social media also open door for collaboration. Non-profits can partner with influencers, other NGOs, corporations, and even government bodies to expand their reach. What our coach Rambabu did in the month of January, collaborating with other organizations, spread the name of sharEvery around the world so that people can connect with our platform. These partnerships create synergy and shared resources. A campaign launched with a content creator or influencer can unlock entirely new audience who may have never been exposed to cause otherwise. Let's never overlook the most powerful benefits. Do you have any idea? That is empowerment. Non-profits use platforms to empower people who have that knowledge, offering free resources, as like sharEvery is doing, educational posts, what they do on a regular basis, live workshop, and many more. They equip individuals with the tools to take these into action in their own communities. Social media becomes not just a place to share, but a place to learn and grow, as like all of us are doing here. Of course, like any tool, social media has its own challenges: misinformation, short attention spams, and many others. But the opportunities far overweigh than these obstacles. Non-profits that adapt and innovate in the digital space are finding themselves somewhere not surviving, but thriving. Lately, I'd like to say one thing, that non-profit as like sharEvery are no longer limited by borders when it comes to creating an impact. With a smartphone, a story, a strategy, they are changing the world. One post, one campaign, one connection at a time. So let us support these digital change makers. Let us share their content, engage in their causes, donate whenever we can, and most of all, use our own platforms to spread hope, truth, and the educational information. Because in this connected world, social change is only a click away. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I really urge or stand on your words. Social media is a kind of hand in nowadays. It is in everyone's hand. But majority of the people, they have been using only for sharing. But sharEvery feels very proud. We are not just sharing. We are helping others to learn. We are helping others to grow. We can see on screen our smarties. They requested. Most of the people, they don't know how this model is going to happen from today. But my smarties, the request, sir, and we didn't have a session on Saturday even, but why don't you welcome us for advanced meeting? Immediately, I shared the registration link. They registered and they have been joined today. So we really feeling privileged, not just sharing through social media for one post, one campaign, or one comment. We are helping to learn. We are helping to empower. the upcoming generations. So social media, it became like a part and parcel nowadays. So thank you so much for sharing your kind of experience and where we can do this non-profit service to empower, to connect, to collaborate through this needful area to impact the world. Thank you so much, Coach Sri Rupa Wavge from Mauritius. After we know these three things and how we can do in what ways, that is also most important. That would be the ultimate after knowing what, why, and where, and then how. We know the statement when you know why, then how is very easy. Now we know what is, and we know where, and we know why and who, then how is going to share by Coach Sandra Walks from Canada. Please join your hands.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone, fellow panelists, and especially the Smarties. Isn't that wonderful? That's called side learning. Whenever we're involved, we learn from everything that's happening. So congratulations to sharEvery again, being creative and getting so much side learning done. So let's talk about how. If you want to feel fulfilled, get involved. That's the how. Get involved. Volunteering offers you the chance to gain new skills, meet amazing people like here, and contribute to a cause that really matters. Being part of something bigger has transformed me and my joy and my life since even the age of 5. There I sang in the hospital for a sick aunt and in the church for congregation. As a child, I was on stage. Like Andrea, I loved the stage and the microphone. We're away. In my little one-room school, I learned about teamwork and teaching the smaller children and learning from the older children. We had all 8 grades in one room. So I learned everything in grade 1, all grade 8. Then I learned I was in grade 2. I learned everything still to grade 8 and started helping the younger ones, and older ones were helping me. Community has always been bigger than any individual, and that is what a nonprofit is all about: community and sharing. The benefits, they are real and they are tangible. So many times people say, oh, I don't have time to volunteer. Why would I give that away? Because the benefits are very real. First off, you get to have skill development. You learn skills and you enhance the existing ones, such as teamwork, communication, and problem solving. If you're the boss and you're handing out a paycheck, you can use your power to get things done. When you're a volunteer and helping other volunteers, there's no paycheck. That is much more powerful way of leading and learning that. Now, when you're networking opportunities, look, I've been around here after the first year of sharEvery, and look at the networking that we've done here. I know people all over the world, and that is teamwork, communication, and problem solving. You have personal fulfillment. It just feels good to contribute and to cause care about increasing my overall happiness and yours, I hope. Certainly community contribution, because I can make a difference in the issues and the initiatives that matter to me. As a teacher from 50 years ago, and continuing to teach throughout my life, even though my career changed, that is who I am. But every time I do something new, it enhances and it transforms and changes my life. So my own life has been changed through a number of things. And yes, you can do them all at once. It's conversations. I've been going to prison for over 20 years. I go to the inmates And I have beautiful little certificates here that they've made up for I was in prison and you visited me. So many people forget people who have been institutionalized for anything. I take Toastmasters into them. I've created Toastmasters clubs and I watch them transform. First, they come in all huddled over, but they came to see what it was about. And then I ask everybody to introduce, oh, no, 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 no. And that's okay. I'll come back to you. So we go around the entire room and back to the one that was like this. And I said, well, just stand and say your name. That's all. And so they managed that much. And 3 weeks later, they're saying, pick me, pick me, pick me. So it's wonderful to watch them change and claim their voice. And I also do Alternatives to Violence project in the prison. And that is a full 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That volunteering cost me money. Probably it cost me $100, $150 for the weekend because I have to drive back and forth, prepare my materials, take my lunches in. It's a lot. Gas is expensive. But you know, I get more out than I take in. And that helps me grow. I have an Ethiopian family who I helped come here as refugees 20 years ago. A lot of things happened in the last 20 years for me. But 20 years ago, and we fell in love on meeting, and I am still today their Canada mom. I'm involved in their family. I'm involved in their meals. Once in a while, they get something that they have a bigger issue about because they're very private. But once in a while, something that they just can't seem to get resolved. And Sandra's called into the very private affairs. And I love them. I was in Uganda when the COVID was declared. And I met up with Liz. Now, I had met Liz on that social media, Sripa. And I was hoping she was real because when she reached out to me, oh, mom. Immediately I was mom. Everyone in Africa wants to have a mom. And I said, if you want money, go away. Go away if that's what you want. If you want to learn something, I'm the one. I'm here to help, but I'm not sending you money. I am also not sending money for one child. I'm not doing it. Because what happens to the other 240 that are in the group? I'm not doing it. But if you want to learn something, we'll figure that out. So there I landed in Uganda because I was going to send her some books. And for 60 pounds, it was going to cost $1,600 Canadian to send a suitcase over by DHL or whatever it's called. I said, I don't think I could go there cheaper than that. And it was true. My ticket to Uganda was $1,200, and I took 4 suitcases with me. I had to pay for the extra 2 suitcases. And then as I'm arriving, we're getting closer to Uganda, and I'm thinking, oh my, if they're not for real and they don't meet me, this is going to be quite an adventure. But bless them, they were there to pick me up, and I was able to stay with them. This particular family, Liz, was from Burundi, and they had escaped a bit of the bloodbath and had gone around to Kenya and back into Uganda where they are refugees. I lived in their home with them. See, it doesn't have to be a lot of money. It has to be creative, inclusive, and exciting. For me, it has to be an adventure. And there I was until COVID was declared. And then I had trouble getting out. It cost me a lot of money to get home. But there I was changing lives. After I had met Liz, another young fellow from Uganda found me on Facebook. There's that social media working again. And he was reaching out, and I once again said, if you want money, go away. Everybody wants money. I can't afford all of Africa, so go away. But if you want to learn something, I'm your one. Oh, no, I want to learn. So we have had amazing conversations, and he has transformed his mindset. He's got his college and university, I think it is, very accomplished young man, but his mind needed to expand. And there we have it, Ronald in Uganda. Now, Ronald had 240 children. He says these children, because he had been so poor that even the poor people were laughing at him for being so poor. That's how far down the trail he was. And he understood from his own background that these children deserve love, education, and food. From Ronald and his foundation that he had started years ago with a fellow who had mentored him, along comes Loveleen, who wants to change the lives in Uganda because she's from Uganda. And she wants the girls who have been pregnant and thrown away. Oh, you're pregnant, you're out. She wanted to reach out to them and change their lives. What I want to do a foundation, and it's going to cost so much, and I'm trying to figure out how to save money, and I think it takes thousands and thousands. I said, stop it. You can start it with $200. Well, I connected her. I networked her in Africa. Can you imagine? She's educated in England, came from Uganda, lives in the States, and I connected her to Ronald. That was in November. And by March, Ronald had helped her get all the papers for the foundation. And she had the grand opening in August with 700 people. And it's just blossoming, absolutely blossoming. I got that background, how to work in Africa, because I was part of the Quinty Grannies for Africa and the Stephen Lewis Foundation. Now, that was a wonderful experience and went on for probably 10 years before we had to close down because we're all getting old. I have a couple others that I contribute to monthly because I believe in them and I can't do it. So you can contribute, you can do. And of course, sharEvery. There we are. sharEvery. Travel, adventure, growth. So get involved. Meet the amazing people. Contribute to a cause that truly matters. Be part of something bigger than you. And help create positive change through your own community. Get involved and see what a difference you can make today.
Thank you so much, Sandra Walks. As you mentioned, community is all bigger than any individual. That is the reason sharEvery put a tagline on every flyer or any promotional poster, cause is greater than any individual. So sharEvery built on a cause to empower or uplift the students from rural areas by teaching free English. Already I mentioned on many stages and on many online sessions the need of English learning, especially the countries like India. So that is only the reason these many children have been following sharEvery for learning, transforming themselves, getting good progress in their future. It's really honor to listen you as 4 panel guests in the first meeting, even with the time-bound presentations. It's not a simple job, but we did it. Dr. D and Coach Sandra Walks and Coach Sandra Almeida and Coach Sri Rupa Wavge from Mauritius. Congratulations.